Have you see it's Aaron, Mytha Elamer, and today I'm doing the 2021 vinyl tag started by Tales from the Crate, and it's 20 questions here, so I'll just get started, and here we go. So, first up, question number one, a discovery I made in 2020, and this is a really great band from my hometown that I discovered through Cosmic Brian. He's got a great channel, check him out, and this is the band R.I.P. This is Street Reaper, and then Dead End. Great, sludgy, doom, stoner, metal, whatever you want to call it. This is really killer. Love this band, and I'm so happy I discovered them. And thank you, Brian, Cosmic Brian, for introducing me to them. Very cool. Love them. Great, great band. And those albums are killer. They kick ass. Good stuff. Okay, so a quarantine buy. So I've bought quite a few during the quarantine, and this one I pre-ordered it, and it came in during quarantine, and it's my favorite one I've got like in the store since then. So I'll show this. This is Ace Frehley, Origins Volume 2. Love this record. It's cover songs. Ace doing all kinds of cover songs, and he does them excellent. Space Trucking's really good on here. I like them all. 30 Days in the Hole is really good. Kicks, I really love Kicks. Jumpin' Jack Flash with Lita Ford's really good. Great stuff. Really killer record here. And I believe I just have here's what the vinyl looks like. Double vinyl. And I love this record. Good stuff there. An LP I want to find in 2021. Now this one came out on Record Store Day, but in my town I don't have, none of my stores here do Record Store Day, so I missed out on it, and a couple people in the VC have tried to help me and gave me numbers of local stores. Todd Guy the Thrashing Zombie tried to help me out with this, and I just wasn't able to get it. They were all sold out, so it's Slave to the Grind from Skid Row. One of my favorite albums. I love this. It's my second favorite by them, but it's still one of my favorite albums of all time. And I just love this album, and so that's what I'm going to be hunting this down. Hopefully I can get it sometime this year. So that's my my LP I want to find in 2021. So next up is a box set, and I'm going to go with this one. This is the White Album and the Escher demos. Escher, however you say it. There's the track list. It's amazing, and so what it is I'll open it up and show you. It's got a double record, so it's eight records total. And if I can get it out, it's kind of tight. And it starts out, it's got this here, and talks about the Escher demos, which are very cool, and I'll talk about them in a second. And then this goes on and talks about the White Album, stuff like that. Really cool. It remastered it, and it sounds excellent. The White Album sounds really good. And here it is, the White Album. The self-titled Beatles is actually the name of it, and it comes in these double record with the polyline sleeves. Black polyline, my favorite. And it's got all the inserts that you'd expect with the White Album. The big poster, I won't pull out, but everyone pretty much knows that. Even has the 4 pictures in here. So that's very cool, and it sounds excellent. And then it has this, which is the Escher demos. I don't know if it's Escher or Escher. I've heard it pronounced both ways. And then there it is. And it's pretty much all the White, well, about 3/4 of the White Album, 2/3 maybe. And it's all done acoustically with just John, Paul, and George. And they came back from when they were in India and were rehearsing it down in George's house in Escher, wherever it's at. And so it's those 3 doing these. And then they also do a song called Sour Milk Sea, Junk, which appeared on McCartney, Child of Nature, which is excellent. And it later became Jealous Guy, the song by John Lennon. Got Circles, Mean Mr. Mustard, and Polythene Pam, which appeared on Abbey Road, of course. Not Guilty, which was a George Harrison song, appeared on one of his solo records. And What's the New Mary Jane? So it had all these extras along with most of the White Album. And it's all acoustic, and the songs sound way different, and it's really great. It's almost like hearing a new Beatles record. It's very, very cool, and I listen to this quite a bit. So White Album's my favorite Beatles album to begin with, so I listen to it a lot. All right, next up, a concept album. This has always been one of my favorite concept records ever. I only have a picture disc of it, but I'm going to show it here. This is Crimson Idol from Wasp. Love this album. It's about a character named Jonathan, who's a rock star, and it's about his dealings with the record industry and fame and all of that. And it's really good, and it's very a lot more progressive than most Wasp. They were starting to get more, less how their original sound was, and more progressive, and very killer album. This is a great concept record. Okay, up next, an album where the artist or band changed their direction. I could have went a lot of ways with this, but I'm sticking to mainly hard rock metal stuff. So I'm going to go with "I'm the Man" from Anthrax. So up to this point they were a total thrash band, and then they introduced the song "I'm the Man," which is a rap song that they did, and you can tell by how they're looking there, kind of goofy, and but it's actually a pretty good song, and they change up instruments on it, and Joey Belladonna does the drums. It's pretty cool. I really love Sabbath Bloody Sabbath on here, but for a thrash band to do rap music at that time, it kind of broke down a lot of barriers. I'm not a big rap guy, but it made me appreciate it a lot more than I did. And I was more accepting of other rap after this came out. So there we go. That's Anthrax there. Next up, a white label promo. So this is one of my favorite artists from the 80s, 70s, 80s. And his name is Greg Kihn. It's a Greg Kihn band with Continue. This is a really great record. It's got Every Love Song is really good. Testify, Higher and Higher is a cover. But this is a really good album. And this white label promo sounds amazing. It's a really great sound. There it is on Berserkly. And I'm a big Greg Kihn fan. He's probably my favorite of the power pop guys. I guess you'd call it power pop. He rocks out pretty good a lot. And I just love his songwriting and singing. I just like him a lot. Up next, a compilation album. This is question number 8. So I'm going to go with No Remorse from Motorhead. Mostly a compilation record. It's it's got a double record. This was on, it starts with Ace of Spades, goes all the way through, and I believe there's like 4 originals on this as well, which is cool. I like it when they do that on compilation records. But I'm going to go with this No Remorse record. And it's on the bronze label, double record, and there we go. So next up, I've got an album that needs a vinyl pressing. I'm going to show a couple here. So my favorite band is Clutch, and they've got 2 albums that don't have vinyl pressings, have never been released. And starting out with their first album, their first full-length, Transnational Speedway League, Anthems, Anecdotes, and Undeniable Truths. This album here, amazing. They had kind of a punk edge, heavier sound on this record. Starts off with a Shogun named Marcus, which is one of my favorite Clutch songs. It's got a Hefe Speaks, a great album, and I really need this on vinyl because I don't listen to CDs much except in my car. And the next one is going to be Pure Rock Fury. This is my favorite Clutch album. So when they got me into Clutch, it's my first Clutch album I heard, and it's just an amazing record all the way through, and it's never had a vinyl pressing. And I really am just like chomping at the bit to get those. I got every other thing they've done on vinyl pretty much. And then also, I wish they would release Johnny Lang, his first few records on vinyl. They've never been released on vinyl, and it's like a blues rock, and it totally lends itself to being on vinyl. So I wish they would do all those on vinyl. I would buy them in an instant, all those. Okay, and now number 11, a common album and an uncommon album. So, or did I go out of order here? Okay, yes, I did. Okay, number 10, an album that tells a story. I gotta take this one out too. And that is Nilsson, The Point. This is a whole story about this strange land where everyone has pointy heads. And this character here was born with a round head and tries to cover it up. And it's this big, weird weird long story. Me and My Arrow is such a great song. It's about his dog is named Arrow. And it's got this, if I can get it out, this booklet that goes through the whole story. If you don't know Nilsson, it's Harry Nilsson. He's an amazing artist. He was an amazing artist. And so this, you kind of follow along with this whole story. And it's a really cool story. It's kind of goofy at times, but it's really good. I really like it. And just Harry Nilsson is just so unique. And he narrates all the way through it. And does all the songs. You know, he was an amazing artist. And there we go. That's Nilsson the Point. Love that album. And Harry Nilsson's one of my favorite artists. Really love him. So, okay, a common album and an uncommon album. So I'm going to go with the same band. And their common album I'll go with is Back in Black, which of course everybody has. Not everybody has it, but it's very common. You can get it fairly easily. And my uncommon one is going to be the Australian pressing of High Voltage, which is my favorite AC/DC record. This is way different than the American pressing. There's the songs there, and there's only like 3 or 4 songs that are on the American High Voltage, and it's got stuff on here like Soul Stripper. You Ain't Got a Hold on Me, Show Business, and most of those songs were put on 74 Jailbreak. So the songs from just 74 Jailbreak were on this, along with the songs from High Voltage, and one song called Love Song that's on neither. That's a really killer song. It's great, and this album sounds so killer. I think it's an unofficial bootleg or something, but it sounds amazing. It's one of my best sounding records I own. Here's the vinyl here. And so there we go. That's my favorite AC/DC record. And I really love AC/DC, so I just love that one. Though ever since I got that, it became my favorite. You know, it took over from Highway to Hell, which has always been my favorite. And okay, next up, an EP. So I'm going back with Clutch. This is actually pretty much their first EP they ever did. 1993. It's called Impetus. It was also called Passive Restraints, which is a song on here. And I love this. It's Clutch started out very much heavy, kind of punk influenced, very doom, stoner rock, whatever you want to call it. Really great stuff. And I love this album. I like all this stuff. But Impetus, their first couple things, they just have a different sound to them. Really killer. Okay, number 13, a girl group. So I could have went with a lot of ways on this. I decided to go with Diamond Claw. This is a very good hard rock, heavy metal band. Great album. It's an EP. Just a few songs. This might have been the only thing they ever did. I'm not sure on that though. And great album. I really love it. It's a really good sounding EP. Kind of a different label there too. Pretty cool label. Diamond Claw. So there's let's see if it says Deborah Lynn Billingsley is the lead vocals, Jenny Thornburg lead guitar and vocals, Mary Jo Bodges bass guitar and vocals, and Pamela Renee Galloway on the drums. So there we go, Diamond Claw. An album cover you love. And this is from another one of my favorite bands. This is Caius. This is And the Circus Leaves Town, their 4th and final studio album. 5th if you count Sons of Caius, but that's not officially Caius. But here's the album cover. You're thinking, oh, that's kind of cool, but what's the big deal? But then you turn it upside down. I just love that. I love artwork like that. So yeah, I love that cover. And the back of it's pretty interesting too. But, you know, I just love covers. I like it when they're unique like that and you can do things. Reminds me of Dio in a way. So there we go. There's Caius. An album, number 15, an album you've listened to the most. So I always show this album because ever since I first got it on cassette, I've listened to this album at least, not every week, but 2 to 3 times every month minimum since I bought it back in 1991. Sweet FA, Stick to Your Guns. One of my favorite albums of all time. I just love it. I never get sick of it. Every time I hear it, I like it more. It's one of those albums that just you can never get sick of. really rocking, great rockers on here, some great ballads, a really cool acoustic song called Southern Comfort, which is great. The rocking songs like Prince of the City and Nothing for Nothing, Whiskey River are so good. And they just rock out so hard. They have great guitarists, a really killer drummer who comes from a thrash background. So it's kind of a bluesy, sleaze, not really hair metal, but that kind of sound, but with a drummer from a thrash background. So it's just so good. Heart of Gold is one of my favorite ballads. The song Stick to Your Guns, the title song, is an epically great song. One of the best songs ever written, in my opinion. And that whole album, I just love it the whole way through. I never get tired of it. And I've heard that maybe the most of any record in my life, except for maybe a couple Beatles records, maybe a Burton Cummings solo that I've heard since I was a little kid and heard a lot. But ever since that's out, it's been my most listened to record. Okay, number 16, an album you had to get an OG copy of. Okay, so I don't really care about that all that much, as long as the record sounds good. But this one, I really wanted to get an OG copy of because it's different. And that is the original Kiss. And this doesn't have the song Kissin' Time on it. And so it flows different. Do starts off the second side, no Kissin' Time. And it's only on the OG pressing. And so this is one I had to get an OG copy of because of that. And other than that, I mean, I like having OG copies. And but it's not the be-all, end-all to me. As long as I have a really nice copy that sounds great, and when I put it on, I enjoy listening to it. That's the most important thing to me. But you know, whenever I see an OG copy of a really great record, I like to have it. But it's like some records, I prefer the repress if it sounds better. It's not that big a deal to me as long as I get a good sounding copy, unless there's something different about it. Okay, the last album I purchased. Now, I believe Cosmic Brian again was telling me about this band, and I saw it last time I was in the record store, and so I bought it. I haven't heard it yet. I'm going to listen to it tomorrow. This is The Wolf Bites Back by Orange Goblin. Don't really know anything about this band, but I really love the cover, and I believe Cosmic Brian was telling me about it. I think it was him. I've heard about him, and I saw it, so I jumped on it, and we'll see how it sounds. And from the artwork and the band's look, I'm sure I'll like it. You know, you can never really tell, but and then inside it's got the lyrics and the vinyl. So I'm excited to give this a spin, and I will get to that. Okay, next up, number 18. An album they didn't get. So they, I assume, means just the general population. An album by a band that people like, and then they came out with an album and nobody liked it for some reason. And I'm gonna go. I don't have it on vinyl. I don't think this was ever released on vinyl. It'd be nice, but I'm going with the artist formerly known as Dangerous Toys. This is very different. They went in kind of a. They still kept some of their Dangerous Toy sound, but they added a kind of a grunge, alternative, industrial sound to some of the stuff. But some of it is classic Dangerous Toys, like Better to Die is one of the best Dangerous Toy songs ever. New Anger and Monster Man are probably the heaviest, greatest songs they've done maybe. They're so good. I love this whole album, but a lot of people didn't get it because it has a very almost industrial sound to it in a lot of places. Very different than just their straightforward rockin' stuff they were doing, but there is some of that still in here. But it just depends on the song. There's some of the songs that are like that, some are newer sounding, but I really love this record, and I've always loved it. It's one of those that, and most people listen to it, they're like, nah, I just can't do it. So that's my response for that one. Number 19, a punk record, punk album. So I'll go with Ass Rash, Up the Punks. Really good punk record. Not as well of a known punk band, and there they are in the back. Very good punk record. I love this record, and I'm happy I got it. So there's my punk record. I'm starting to get into punk a lot. I've got probably around 50 to 100 punk records now. It's a growing collection of mine. All right, next up, my favorite 2020 reissue, and that was easy for me. It's one of my favorite records ever, and This record was going for like $300 to $500, and I won't pay that for any record. And then I ended up getting a bootleg Brazilian copy, and it sounded horrible. I could barely listen to it. It just had very low quality sound. On one part on the second side, the sound faded up and down and up and down. It was really weird. And so when they put this out, I was very excited, and then I was thrilled when I finally heard it. This is Facelift from Alice in Chains. They did an exceptional job repressing this. It sounds amazing. They put it on double vinyl. If they would have put it in a gatefold, it would have been perfect. But still, it's just such a great sounding record. There it is. All the lyrics, the original pictures. And this has been one of my favorite records of all time ever since it came out. I just love it. It's my favorite Alice in Chains record, my favorite grunge record ever. One of my favorites of all time. And this just sounds so great. They did an amazing job repressing this. And it's not an exclusive, so anyone can get it. And I highly recommend you go get this Facelift record if you like Facelift at all. And it just sounds amazing. It sounds better than a CD or cassette. That pressing is amazing. And okay, there we go. That's my first vinyl tag I've ever done. Year long vinyl tag. Still new to the VCs. A little over 6 months I've been in here. And I can't say how many great friends I've made through the VC. People that do videos, people that have commented on my videos, and I've got to know that way. I appreciate all of them as well. Made some great friends and having a blast. I didn't think I'd make it past a week. Now I'm working on 7 months. And everybody out there, all my friends in the VC, all my friends and everywhere. All right, everybody have a good one. And happy 2021. Hopefully it's a great year for everybody. Rock on, everybody.